Tell you something. I have had the most wonderful privilege of having the very best chairperson in Palm Beach County as my chairman. This is Ms. Corny Thornburg, and I have to tell you, together for the last, 12 years on the board, 8 years together, partners in crime. So I am so privileged and honored to be able to introduce you to Corny Thornburg, our chairman.
Thank you, Diana. So, welcome everyone, number 17 of our SleepOuts. Diana asked me to welcome you officially, but Diana, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something else. I'm going to ask every director who sits on our board to stand up. If you're standing up, wave your hand. Come on, everybody get up. Chuck. Everybody wave your hand. Now, on the count of 3, you are going to say, welcome to this august crowd. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. So you've got your official welcome. I did sort of tweak it a little bit, but Diana will forgive me. So by day, I'm sort of a mild-mannered board chair, but by evening, I am your game show host, and I've called you here tonight to play a little game called Wordplay. Christina, may I have you come forward with my box of goodies? So, this is an interactive event to get you all ready for the evening. I am going to see how creative you all are. I'm going to hold something up, and I want you to tell me what it is, okay? That's pretty easy, right? Christina, you're not? Come on, coming up here. You got to be good Vanna White. Can you hold that for me for a minute? All right, I hope you all can see this. It's a little toy figurine. It is a knight, and if you all have ever been to England, when the Queen, or now the King, knights you, you then have a new title. What's that title called? Sir. Good. Okay, remember that word. All right. All right, let's see how well you know your geography. All right, in the United States, there's a mountain. Who said that? Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so drop Rainier, and what's the first part of that name? Mount. Great, hold on to that. Okay, when you're not out, you are? Oh, boy. Who said mountain? In, you're in. Excellent. Hold that thought. What's this? Table. Oh, boy, you guys are brilliant. I'm going to put this all back in there. Okay, now we're going to put it together. Insurmountable. Insurmountable. Hey guys, that's not a word any of us uses here, because a lot of people think the issue of homelessness is, and all the problems perhaps associated with it, are insurmountable. But what do we say? No. Because, stick with me, we've got a new word game. Oh, sorry. If you wear this, you usually are, if you're a man, you usually are called a king. Good. Now this is a math trick. Not greater than, but less. Less. Remember less. What's this? A nest. Oh, good. What do you do when you come to a stop sign you put on the... What do you do with this? What is this? Cycle. Ah, you guys are too cool. Okay, here's a neighborhood. What are in neighborhoods? Home. Yeah. What's this? Anybody know? Tea bag, right? But we're going to call it tea. Do I have everything? Yeah. All right, let's put it together. What do we have? Break, king, tea, cycle of homelessness. Oh, that's what we do. That is our mission, and that is what the Lord's place is called to do. And that's why those problems are not insurmountable, because each and every one of you is helping us each and every day to break the cycle of homelessness. Thank you for playing that word game. And now, the moment some of you have been waiting for. I know. It's a competitive group out here. Was that Annie who said that? All right, first of all, I want to thank the sponsors today who really gathered us all together and made this happen. So we've got OSC Webco, we've got you, oh, that's me, sorry, Sally and Bob Gilbane, Michael and Lorraine Stevens, PBSO, Carol and Will Brown, Cersei Scarola, Barnhart and Shipley, and then, of course, the Honorable Ann Brown, our presenting sponsor. All right, now everybody wants to know who won? Who won? Who raised the most money? And I have the magic list. This was as of, I think, 20 minutes ago, so late breaking news. Bob Barrett, are you in the room? You didn't win, but you came pretty close. I know, that was kind of mean. This person, Corny Thornburg, is also in the running, but not there. Where's Jack Scarola? All bets are off. Sorry, buddy, third this year. Sleepers for Change, where are you? Raise your hands. Pretty close, but the sisters beat you by $100 for $38,779. Woo! All right, Diane, are you one of those darn sisters? All right, congratulations to all the teams. Thank you for making it happen. And now I'm turning it back to you, Diana.
Thank you, Courtney. I don't need that. I'm going to use
You don't need that at all.
We are very competitive. Oh, can you hear me now? Are you hearing me now? Yes. Okay. We are very competitive, if you haven't realized that at the Lord's Place, but we love it. All right. So official good evening to everyone here, and a very special welcome to our friends and families on live stream. Turn and say hello to them from across the nation. Yay! Especially my family in North Carolina. So welcome to the 17th annual SleepOut. I want to take a moment before we do this and thank a bunch of people that make an event like this happen. Please join me in welcoming Ann and thanking Ann Noble and her advancement team. There's Annie there, her entire advancement team. I tell everybody I waited my whole life for Annie Noble to come into my world. So there you go. There she is. Amazing work. Chef Jim and his staff back here for this amazing food. Thank you. And let me tell you what's so special at the Lord's Place is when all of a sudden one of our staff members comes and says, I really like making pizza. And he's a caseworker. And I'm like, really? And I went back there today, and he is throwing pizza up in the air. So special thanks to Martin and his pizza, because he made pizza for everybody. Jessica Parrish, her operations and maintenance teams, who always delivers. Thank you so much for that. And I need to take a moment and thank the rest of this staff that's here. We are blessed with an amazing staff that gives of themselves every single day. So please join me in thanking the staff of the Lord's Place. So tonight, we gather in our new headquarters, the Fortin Family Campus, and we embark on a journey of reimagining SleepOut. For nearly 2 decades, we have come together to brave the elements. Do I need to remind anybody about all the rain that we've had over the years, Jack and Pam MacGyver and all those times, right? We came together to raise awareness and to stand in unity with those who sleep out every night. This year, however, we decided to shake it up a little bit and do a new approach. So instead of huddling together in an open field like we used to, I'm challenging each of you tonight to embark on your own individual pilgrimage. Leave behind the familiar comforts of your own bed and venture into the unknown. And as we do so, let us remember the thousands of men, women, and children who do this not by choice, but because of circumstances. Reflecting on the journey of SleepOut over the years, I am filled with awe at what we have achieved together. SleepOut has always been recognized as the signature event for the Lord's Place in helping to raise vital funds and increase awareness. Despite reimagining it this year, those core values of SleepOut still remain. Central to our mission and to SleepOut is the commitment to our clients, and many of them are here today. Please join me in honoring them that are here. It is our duty as one of Palm Beach County leading agencies to empower them to reimagine their lives beyond the streets. And by doing so, we must equip them with the tools to change their lives. Street engagement, job training, clinical services, reentry services, and above all, housing. These are the cornerstones of our endeavors. Year after year, we have echoed a very clear message at SleepOut, and we're going to do it again tonight. Supportive housing is the key to ending homelessness. And we pledge to continue to advocate for systemic reform, to create more affordable housing, and to remind our community that housing is not a privilege, but a basic human right. And as I stand before you tonight, I am reminded that SleepOut has always been recognized as the great equalizer in Palm Beach County. Our dear friend Don Brown, who passed away a couple years ago, said that when the first time he walked into SleepOut, he looked up and said to Ann, "I'm seeing the world." And that is what SleepOut has always been. And here tonight, that great equalizer shines brightly once again. As I look out, I see people from diverse backgrounds. I see people from different economics and cultures, and from many, many different circumstances. But let me tell you, no matter who you are, no matter where you came from, no matter what you do, tonight we are the same. And we are a group of people committed to serve the poor and the homeless. And we are so honored to do that at the Lord's place. So, take a deep breath, Diana. Tonight is a celebration, and it is a celebration of those who have journeyed out of homelessness, overcoming obstacles with resilience and determination. You will hear stories tonight of transformation as lives have been changed every day at the Lord's place. And tonight is also an opportunity to express our gratitude to each one of you here. Whether this is your first SleepOut or your 17th, Jack, your presence has spoken volumes tonight by being here. Your support fuels our mission and inspires hope to those that we serve. So, my friends, let us embrace the night of reimagining. Let us honor our past. Let us celebrate the present, and let us envision a future where homelessness is but a memory. Thank you so much for being here, and God bless you all. Thank you. And before we go into a video, I wanted to also take a moment and, oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. I know you are.
It's one of our clients. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now that really will make me cry. Thank you. And we wanted to take a moment and bring up the person who has changed SleepOut over and over and over again. She has believed in this event from when she first arrived with her husband. So please join me in welcoming our benefactor and our friend, Honorable Ann Brown. There you go.
Do you know, have any idea of how thrilled I am to be here tonight? First of all, I'm getting old and I'm glad to be here. But second of all, And most important of all, I love this organization. It does the most best work for the dollar. You know, I've gotten very picky about how I spend my husband's money. And I've decided, I guess, that people get the best bang for the buck here of any organization that I've ever heard of or been a part of. I am proud to be involved with all of you. My husband and I had moved to Florida, and we went to different places, and we saw all the same sort of fancy people that we avoided in Washington, D.C. They were here, and they were surrounding us. And then I came to SleepOut one night. I was started to get involved with this organization. And as you know, my husband and I both loved it. Here we were seeing lots of people all doing good work for everybody else. And my husband turned to me and he whispered in my ear, and he said to me, when we heard how much everybody had worked to raise a lot of money, let's do a match. I said, a match? He whispered, yes, a match. I said, for as much, that much? He said, for that much. So I quick go out before he changes his mind, and I start to walk around in front of Diana, who's at the podium. And Diana is pretty smart, let me tell you. She knows that Ann Brown would just not be wandering around aimlessly. She has a purpose. So she calls me up, and I announce the match. And let me tell you that nothing gives me more pleasure. I do this in Donald's memory now, although I've got a very attractive other man that I live with. But we won't. In fact, he's even a Jewish doctor. I told my mother in heaven that. She said to me as she looked down, it's about time. But in any case, this is a thrill for me, and to do it in Donald's memory, to give as much as we can do to have SleepOut be successful. Thank every one of you. You all work very hard. Pat yourselves on the back. You work for a marvelous cause, and I am delighted to be a part of that cause. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, if you can just, if we can have the lights turned off, Miss Claire, there you go. We practiced this all afternoon. Lights on, lights off, lights on. We got it. Okay, take it away. Hi, I'm Diana Stanley, the CEO here at the Lord's Place, and I would like to welcome you to the Lord's Place and to our new Fortin Family Campus. We are so excited to show you this amazing facility in which we are able to transform lives every day for those experiencing homelessness. Come on, let's go take a tour. The mission of the Lord's Place is that we are able to break the cycle of homelessness in Palm Beach County. So how do we do that? First, we provide housing. We make certain that everybody has a place to call home. Then we provide job training and employment so that they can go out and find their purpose. Then we have our street engagement, folks that are out in the streets engaging with folks that have been living in the parks. That's an important component of what we do. And then, of course, we have our reentry services, making certain that men and women who come out of jail are given the opportunity to live productive lives. And finally, we have our culinary training program that allows us to take individuals, give them the opportunity to learn hands-on how to become employees and then go out into the world. That is what makes up the dimensions of the Lord's Place, all with the commitment of ending one's homelessness. So here in Palm Beach County, we are starting to see a whole new face of homelessness. The older adults are experiencing homelessness for the first time ever. We continue to see an increase in family homelessness. We are continuing to serve more and more people with mental illness, behavioral needs, addiction. We are seeing an increase, and the need for the services at the Lord's Place is more important than ever before.
Here's a...
Awesome, thank you.
No problem. Do you want me to get a bag for you so you can hold that stuff in there?
Yeah, that would be helpful.
So many people ask, how do you begin the process of ending one's homelessness? And it starts with engagement. It starts street outreach, and it starts in the engagement center. People come in, we start that conversation, we start to discover what has made them homeless, and then we're able to help them go to the next step. So when we created the space for the engagement center at the Fortin Family Campus, we wanted to make certain that it represented a living room. When you're sitting with somebody in a comfy chair and you just had a great lunch at Cafe Joshua and you go over to sit in the living room, suddenly the conversation is very different. Our space is really designed for conversation, for engagement, so that we can begin that journey.
That just shows that y'all are good service. Yeah.
We knew that the heartbeat of our work had to be Cafe Joshua. It has been the heartbeat of everything we've done for the last 30, 40 years. And so this space is just amazing. The kitchen, of course, is designed to do two purposes. One is to create the food for Cafe Joshua, and then the second is to provide the food that we need for our catering company.
It's got good balance, okay, between salt, pepper, and the other seasonings.
So job training and employment is an important piece of the work that we do, always has been. And in this new space, we have a wonderful classroom that we're now able to provide so many more workshops. They can learn about resume writing. They can learn about job searching. So it is an amazing space for the staff to really encourage people to think about their next job or to think about what is their purpose going to be in life.
We're not going to be shameful or fearful of that now. We're going to move on. You paid your debt to society. This is huge. It's huge for you.
So what we do know is housing is the key to ending one's homelessness. And we are so blessed at the Lord's Place that we are able to provide housing for men, women, and families. We're the only agency in town that has the opportunity to do that, and we know what a privilege that has been for us. So we have housing for families at our family campus, which is our Alexander Place. We have housing for men at our Man Place. We also have housing for single women at both Burkle Place 1, Burkle Place West, Burkle Place 3, and we also have Howley's Place. We are committed that no matter what the population is, that we're going to be able to create a specialized housing. I believe the future of the Lord's Place is very promising and it's very bright. And I think this is because we've had such an amazing response from the community to create a space like the Fortin Family Campus. We are so honored that we can do this work on a daily basis.
Oh, when the night has come and the land is dark.
We are here for the duration. We are committed to this mission. I see clients whose lives have been transformed, but most of all, I see the fact that we are called to do this work. And when that calling is there, nothing will stop us, and that's why we continue to do it.
Stand by me.
There I am. You can turn the lights on. Remember, lights off, lights on? Okay, lights are back on. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we'll do the clap. There you go, clap them back on. So I am so excited to introduce you to Brenda. I want to just tell a little story if I can. Those of you that know those of you that know me know that some of my very favorite people in the entire world are my sisters who are here tonight. And they have been my right hand, left hand for years and years and years. And so when we heard the story of Brenda and Carol, two sisters, we were so touched. And I, of course, was touched in ways even deeper than most. Carol could not be with us today. She's actually not feeling well and she's home. But I am so proud and so excited for you to hear the story of Miss Brenda. And so we're just going to have a conversation. She's a little nervous. I said, oh, you're among friends here, right? You're fine. So we've been laughing and giggling. And so I'm going to turn your microphone on here. See, we don't scream at each other like, eh. Okay. Can you hear that? You good? All right. So Miss Carol, tell us what happened to you in Belle Glade.
When our problem started, we had a house fire.
I'm gonna hold it closer for you. You talk and I'll hold it.
We had a house fire in 2020. Our mom had actually passed away in 2019. She was 93. And I was her full-time caregiver. She was blind at the end and had dementia. And she didn't have house insurance, so we couldn't afford house insurance. So when the house caught fire, that was it. And but we actually stayed in the house. We weren't supposed to, but we lived in the house.
Got it.
We had nowhere else to go.
Right, right.
And then last year, we had gotten caught, so to speak, and so we were living in the car. And
so the two of you were living in the car.
in my car.
Outside of the home that was on fire because you couldn't fix it up.
Right.
Okay. All right.
The
Okay.
fire department had said it was $35,000 worth of damage.
Okay.
But with the hole blown in the roof and the walls and the ceiling that had been torn down, I think it was more than that.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, my car, I've had my car for 30 years. She's a great car.
And that became your home.
That was our home.
And then what happened? Then you met this one.
Carol was sick. We didn't know she had an infection that had gotten in her bloodstream.
Okay.
Her doctor put her in the hospital. And the hospital had called a nutritionist. The nutritionist knew people from the Lord's Place. So Robbie and Rhonda were the two that had gotten in touch with Carol at the hospital.
Wonderful.
And then they came to the house and they saw the car, and from that moment, they started doing everything they could to get us into someplace.
And so you guys were out there for how long? How long in the car?
We were in the car for 5 months.
5 months. Okay.
And we had a neighbor that watched out for
Yes,
us
that's what you said. I love
across the
that.
street.
Brought you a fan.
But
right?
even though we were houseless, we weren't homeless.
Right.
Because we were on the property and we were safe.
Yeah.
Didn't have to worry about anything happening to us out on the street.
Right.
And we were lucky in that still had water and electricity if we needed it.
And you had a big extension cord, you said, right?
I ran extension cords. That's what we used on the refrigerator until we couldn't be in the house anymore, was the extension cord. But
And where are you now?
at
Tell our friends where you are.
Paul Lawrence Duncan, housing, senior housing.
West Palm Beach.
West Palm
Housing
Beach.
Authority. Thank you, our friends at West Palm Beach.
And that was Robbie and Jorge. George is the ones that took my sister and I to get the bank statements and the Social Security and to the housing department because I didn't know anything about all that
Yes,
stuff. Carol
exactly.
didn't know anything. And my eyesight was getting worse and worse. And trying to find the different places. So Robbie and y'all have been a godsend. That's
Thank you
That's
for
it.
sharing your story. Thank you. And let me just, and let me also share with you, one of the things we find out is when you spend time, one of the things you find out is you spend time with people, you get to learn things. And so if I can share with you, I said to Miss Brenda earlier today, I said, now what is it that you want? Like, you have your apartment, but here you are older in life, what is it that you want? And she said that she wanted to get her cataract surgery done, right? Because you have cataracts. And of course, she went to do her cataracts and she needed $430 or something for cataract surgery. And so what my sisters don't know is that I said, no worries, the other sisters will pay for it. So she is going to go get her cataract surgery and she's going to be able to see. And that's what sisters do for sisters. There you have it, right then and there. So thank you, and we hope Carol feels better, and we are so grateful that you had the courage to share your story with us tonight. So thank you for that. All right. All right, sweetie. Oh, that's so great. All right, thank you. All right, well, there we go. You got it? Okay. Brenda is just another reminder of the important work that we're doing, especially for the elderly. We're seeing a big increase, if you haven't figured that out now, in the elderly population. She's been able to get into as I said, the Palm Beach Authority, or West Palm Beach Authority housing, and we're very grateful for our friends Armando and the whole team over at West Palm Beach that makes that stuff happen. We are also ready to begin another project called Bill's Place, which will be the first housing of its kind in Palm Beach County, where we will have 15 men, ages 55 and older, that will be able to stay in a forever home, thanks to the wonderful gift from the Pulte Family Foundation and our friends at the county. It's a model that allows us to provide housing for these 15 men. If you know anything about the homeless system, one of the things we're not very good at is we're not very good at letting people stay and just age in place. We want them to keep moving on and moving on and moving on. And so we said, nope, no more. We're not going to do that anymore at the Lord's Place. We're going to create a housing where they can grow old, and that will be their forever home until the good Lord calls them home. So we're very excited about Bill's Place. Yeah. And as I shared with you earlier, one of the other big things we've started to see most recently has been the increase in family housing. And so we actually went over to our Alexander family campus and we kind of interviewed some of our kids. We're very tender and sensitive about not putting kids up on stage. We don't think that's right. We think that's not always feels so great. So Annie has a little video she wants to share with you from our kids to all of you for Sleep Out tonight.
Hey, my name is Tina, and one day I will be an actor.
My name is Zach, and I want to be a YouTuber.
My name is Carter, and when I grow up, I want to be a martial artist ninja. My name is Robin, and one day I'd like to be an engineer.
My name is Blue, and I want to be a YouTuber. My name is Jenny. One day I want to be a cheerleader in the 5.
That is the future, right there. So we're so honored to be able to serve that population at our family campus. So we continue to break the cycle. So as I remind them all when I see the children, we don't ever want to see you when you're an adult. Walk back into our doors. So keep dreaming, and that's what we do there. I am really excited to introduce our next speaker. As I get on my Kleenexes here, our next speaker.
And I have to take a moment and honor our friends at Hearts of Palm who are here with us, Jim and Karen Cook. They're sneaking back there. Hello, my dear friends. Jim and Karen Cook created a wonderful model where they are part of St. Mark's Episcopal Church. They buy a house, they fix it up, they call me and they go, send somebody over. And Kelvin and I say, okay, who are we going to send over? And so they have a house that has 3 of our graduates in it. And it was the first house that we have it. And I am so excited because we have waited for a couple years for Richard Phillips to share his story at one of our events. So please join me in welcoming Richard Phillips.
Bear with me. This is going to be a little emotional. My name is Richard Phillips. I'm 57 years old. I was born in New Jersey and moved to Boynton Beach when I was about 5 with my mother and brother. My mom met my stepdad, and during that time, they had 4 children together in about 4.5 years. So it was like me and my brother, and then my mom had all these toddlers to take care of. And since we were a little older, we were kind of unsupervised. And so we often got into trouble in our neighborhood because of the people we were hanging out with. They were usually older. And because of the lack of supervision and lack of structure in the household, we kind of had free reign. Around the age of 12, I started using drugs. And without any structure and supervision, we wreaked havoc in the city of Boynton Beach, me and my brother. We were banned from most of the shopping centers and stores, the mall, and Publix included. There were photographs of us hung up in the customer service center, so in case we were to show up, they were to know to keep an eye on us. And so it was crazy. Around the time I was 16 years old, I started using crack and was homeless at 16. I had my first run-ins with law enforcement in Boynton Beach and became incarcerated, and this continued for a number of years. I racked up about 33 felony convictions from '84 to 2005. I'm not proud of that. It's just part of my story. And coming from a family that has a history of alcoholism and addiction, those are the things that happen. From 1988 to 2007, I spent a total of 17 years behind bars. No one wants to be incarcerated, but while there, I found structure and sobriety. You know, I had something to do, and I had some governing body telling me what I could and couldn't do. They told me where to go, when to eat, when to sleep, when to go to the bathroom, where to walk, how to walk. They limited all the things that I did. And in that, I felt structure, and I did well. I thrived behind bars. And I think back now, and I realize that that's why every time that I was released from prison, I went back to the same thing, my own devices, and didn't work out well. I had no idea how to cope with the real world, and I was all alone, no structure. I would always turn back to drugs. When I was released in 2007, I met a girl named Stephanie, and together we lived in an abandoned house in Lake Worth in our active addiction for years. During this time, she became pregnant twice. Both times, we decided to continue our addiction and to give the child up for adoption. It was a very difficult decision, but we knew we were doing what was best for the child, not for us. I keep pictures of those children in my wallet, and spending those days with them in the hospital was very traumatic because you had to give them up, and I would never do that again. It hurts to this day. I hit rock bottom when the Palm Springs Police Department boarded up our house and forced us to leave. Stephanie decided to join her family and stop using drugs. I took a different route. I was very depressed, and I didn't know how to live any other way than the way I had been living. So I was confused about what I was going to do. I know I didn't want to get high, and I knew I didn't want to be homeless, but I didn't know how to go about stopping that. I went to the authorities in Palm Springs, and I told them that I was going to harm myself because I knew if I did that, they would put me in a place where I would be safe. They took me to JFK Medical Center, where I was admitted to South County and treated and released to the HOT team, who found me a sober living environment. But short-term housing wasn't enough for me. You know, I'd lived this way for 40 years. 90 days wasn't going to cut it. My health worker suggested that I needed long-term care, and she brought up the Lord's Place. I realized that no one had ever been there for me. Because of that, I had always learned to try to do it my way, but my way was killing me. I was immediately put into touch with Calvin Phillips and John Gilmore, where I did an intake at the Man's Campus in Boynton. I will forever remember that day. June 16, 2016. I needed to unhomelessness myself. I needed to stop once and for all doing and living the way I was living, but I didn't know how to. The pain of staying the same became greater than the pain of changing. And all of a sudden, I had the people at the Lord's Place to help me with that. They saved my life. While living at the men's campus, I did everything that was available to me. Life skills workshops, the culinary training apprentice program, tending to the garden, feeding the cats. I didn't bring them in my room. I learned to give back, always coming to the SleepOut, always volunteering for events, the luncheons at Duffy's for the gift cards. Yeah, great. I thought, this can't hurt. And it's true. It's been 8 years since getting clean. I haven't been high or unhoused in 8 years. That's a miracle. I haven't had one bad day since. I have had bad moments, but not bad days. As long as I'm not getting high and not in bars, I'm going to be fine. In September of 2017, I was interviewed and got a job at Publix. The same store in Boynton that banned me 40 years ago. I didn't lead with that in the interview, though. So every year I get promotions, and every year my promotion, I get rated a score. All of my scores have been role model status. All of my friends and coworkers know my colorful story. But that's what makes me who I am today. My name is Richard. I'm a grocery replenishment specialist. A clerk. I have a structured life. I go to meetings. I'm a member of Narcotics Anonymous. I work the 12 steps. I have a sponsor and I have sponsees. I volunteer. I give back. I was damaged at once. At a certain time in my life, but I was given the time to heal. That is how you become a productive member of society. Once you stop long enough to change, you can give back and help others. Thank you. Today I live in graduate housing. Karen Cook. Thank you. One of my roommates at the house with me was with me in sober living and at the men's campus, and now in graduate housing. My family is proud of me. While my brother is still living the same life I lived for 40 years, I'm trying to break a cycle of addiction, criminal behavior, and homelessness. And he's going to eventually see how my life is and make the change. I'm just praying that happens sooner than later. I'm the first person in my family to break the mold, and I'm never going back to that life. Thank you.
Look at this standing ovation. There we go. Wasn't that worth the wait, right? We've been waiting for that story for a couple years now. Thank you, Richard. And finally, we'd like to invite a speaker to come up that also can talk about the transformation of life. As you all know, many, many years ago, probably 12 or 13 years ago, we made a decision to really commit ourselves to providing housing and services to single women, which were not being offered in this community. We are so faithful to that population. Shout out to Val Stanley, who has been our rock star and has continued to uphold that mission, and together we are doing it. I know everyone has heard us say we're ready to cut the ribbon on Burkle Place 3. I know you've heard that. I'm promising you that hopefully in the next 2 months, we're going to cut that ribbon. Poor Armando called. He says, I'll see you at the ribbon cutting. I said, not quite. We're not quite there yet. But we are keeping the faith, and we will be cutting that ribbon for our 4th housing program for single women, Burkle Place 3. And we are just proud to be able to continue to provide those services. So with that in mind, I'd like to introduce you to a graduate of Burkle Place, Miss Michelle. Come on up. And
Good evening, everybody. My name is Michelle Longarzo-Daniluk, and I'm a former resident at Burkle Place. My referral from Burkle Place came from AVDA, which is Aid for Victims of Domestic Abuse. My homeless journey started by being a domestic abuse survivor. This was the first time living in a communal women's shelter. Each person has a story, and it's always challenging, right, Miss Val? Some of us bonded through the experience, and then some of us became reclusive. At that time, I decided at that moment to break the chains that held me hostage to a life that had become unproductive and fruitless. Mrs. Martinez, my AVDA advocate, gave me great news that I was selected to have an interview with Miss Val at the Burkle Place. This gives you 1-year residency and an opportunity to grow. I dressed like I was going to an interview, promptly arrived, greeted by Miss Val. She was very honest and straightforward and set down the expectations and the rules, even though petite, sitting behind that desk, very intimidating at first. However, you get to know the women at the place, and you start bonding, and you get together, and they quickly tell you that you must be downstairs with your hair combed, dressed, and ready to take notes with Miss Val, who is sitting at a very long table, and she is dressed to the nines. Her makeup is perfect, and she is one hell of a powerhouse. Anyway, the news of the acceptance basically renewed my life because I had gone through so much injustice in the Justice Department with regards to the domestic violence. Burkle Place arrival begins with, getting to know your environment, and then you quickly get ready to start learning. Multiple professionals come from all over the county, and they teach classes, whether it be therapy or it'll be, some type of enlightenment class. Each one of them there to help you through your journey. Self-care skills was what we very much needed. We all were in a very high state of fight or flight. So I admired Miss Val for her strength and consistency. She empowered us to move forward, no matter what our problem was, not how big or how small. Of course, in fight or flight, it's always big. And she would always help us get through all the processes. My journey was long and hard, and I have become a businesswoman, owning and operating a vacation rental in Hutchinson Island. I'm blessed with a wonderful husband. I was able to break the chains of domestic violence. Nick Daniluk is here supporting me. Thank you, Nick. Through the process of being at Burkle House, I was a childhood cancer advocate, and I have maintained that for 14 years now. I work very closely with Kids Cancer Foundation, giving respite vacations for childhood cancer families, along with domestic violence, women waiting to get into a shelter, autistic families, adult cancer, and especially for people that need self-care, like Miss Val. When the condos are not rented, we gift it to these families, and we self-pay and also make sure that they have things to do. We are very blessed on the island to have multiple vendors that come and give us free things for all of these families so that they can just come and have a nice time and get renewed and rejuvenated, because that's what Burkle Place did for me. It gave me a safe place where I could renew my soul. And Miss Val gave us unconditional love, and even when we were not always so ladylike. Okay, with this, I would just like to say one quote, one of my favorite poems and sayings. In the words of Maya Angelou, I've learned that people forget what you say. People forget what you did, but they never make you forget how you feel. Thank you, Miss Val. I love you.
Here's your rose. That was wonderful. Good job. Good job. Okay, my friends. So that is coming to the end of the program, which of course is my favorite part of the program besides listening to the clients, and that is us being able to, in solidarity and as a unified group, to light a candle as we end the program with our candlelight ceremony. And I am so honored always to have one of my favorite human beings and has been with me since the day I arrived here 17 years ago, Jan Phillips, who is our Chief Human Resource Officer, join us and lead us in Go Light Your Candle. So everybody should have a candle. And for those of you that are at home, go grab a candle or a birthday candle or pretend you have a candle or whatever you need to do. We are going to let Jan sing the first paragraph, and then we encourage you to join in and sing together. Sometimes we stand if you want. You can do whatever you want. But without further ado, Miss Jan Phillips.
What? Oh. What? Stay seated for the live stream.
Okay, so I was wrong. Don't stand up. Because of the live stream, you'll stand up and all they'll see right is your head. Okay, so you got to sit down. So anyhow, we're going to sing it anyhow without the live stream. Go ahead, Miss Jan.
There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings a fire, ignites a candle, and makes his home. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle and go light your world. Frustrated brother, see how he's tried to light his own candle some other way. See now your sister, she's been robbed and lied to, still holds a candle without a flame. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the lonely, the tired and worn, and hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle and go light your world. 'Cause we are a family whose hearts are blazing. So let's raise our candles and light up the sky, praying for an answer to help our homeless, make us a beacon in the darkest time. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the helpless, deceived and poor, and hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle and go light your world.
Yay. So, our message to you is to go home, stay a little bit. We have some food here. We're also going to end with another special treat from you, from one of our staff individuals who's going to sing. There's still food here, but most of all, we want you to walk out tonight being reminded that there are thousands of people on the street, and knowing that we together as a community can solve this problem, that it is a moment to reaffirm our commitment to that as we take our light and we take it out to the dark world, let it shine brightly, and do it in honor of those that we're here to serve.